Count down the days to Valentine's Day. Here's a question. How far would you go to look for love?
For one local man, a man whose voice may be quite familiar to you, the answer was far, very far, to another continent. Nancy Mata has more on this very intriguing story now.
Yeah, Carrie Lee and Christian, at the heart of this story is the plight of a local radio personality who's single, in his 30s, and looking for love. A lot of people may relate to that, but what makes this story so unique, so interesting, is the lengths that Diego Ramos went to find the woman of his dreams. It outraged a lot of his loyal listeners.
Jay, all I have, it's Chio in the morning, 102.
Across the Delaware Valley, each day thousands of people wake up. Q102 radio personality Diego Ramos.
11 p.m. to 1 a.m.
But when he's at home, this 32-year-old wakes up by himself, and he's tired of being a bachelor.
I want to share my life with somebody. Like, I start thinking about it all the time. I'm like, you know, I have this great job. I work with this great morning show. I'm making good money. There's so much I want to share. Look at me, I'm a dork.
So now he shares his frustration on the air with loyal listeners, many of whom find it hard to believe Diego can't find love.
I don't know. Maybe I'm too picky. I'm a geek. I don't know. I don't know.
What kind of woman is Diego looking for? He says someone who's laid back, likes to laugh, and above all else,
somebody who can handle me.
Oh, and in a perfect world, blonde would be nice, too. That's why Diego was shocked when one day last fall, one of his morning show guests suggested he may find the woman of his dreams in Russia.
I'm like, Russia? I'm like, I don't even know where, I don't even know where in the map to find Russia, first of all.
But Diego quickly learned when he logged onto this website for foreignaffair.com. It was filled with hundreds of Russian women who, like him, were looking for love.
And I couldn't believe the women that were on the website. I was just like, this can't be right. I'm like, these women are absolutely beautiful. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot.
Co-workers were supportive. Most of his listeners were not.
I give him credit for having an open mind and doing it, because a lot of people thought he was crazy. Like, why are you doing that? There's a lot of women in Philly. I'll go out with you, but there's always a catch. Like, but I will go out with you, but I'm kind of married.
Marriage is what Diego ultimately wanted. When one day after Thanksgiving, he made the long journey to St. Petersburg, Russia. He and 30 other bachelors each paid $3,500 to find their potential mate. 24 hours later, he was at his first party, surrounded by 200 gorgeous, available Russian women.
If you had a green little button, little thing, it means you spoke great English.
Interpreters help bridge any language barriers, but Diego didn't need any help when he met this stunning blonde named Natasha.
She came in walking with her friend, and I was like, wow, this girl is absolutely beautiful.
There were sparks from the start.
She would ask me about me, ask me about my family, ask me about my friends from work. So she was always interested in me, you know, so I was really touched by that.
Diego and Natasha spent the rest of his trip getting to know each other, exploring if their instant connection could turn into true love.
There was guys out there, 2 different guys got engaged after 2 days. And I think that you got to get to know the person first.
So Diego returned to Philadelphia alone. But through emails and phone calls, he and Natasha kept in touch. Then came Christmas, and Diego wanted to give his new love something special. Once again, listeners came forward to give advice.
People are like, you know what, buy her clothes, because it's really tough to go shopping out there, you know? Finally, everybody's just like, you know what, you just need to send her a card with something small. Well, I didn't listen to anybody because I'm thick-headed, and I ended up sending her $500.
That's where this story gets really interesting. Ramos sent the $500 to Natasha as a surprise Christmas gift, but it turns out the surprise may have been on him. What happened, and was Natasha really the woman of his dreams? We'll let you know coming up in a little bit on Good Day, but you'll have to wait and see if this $3,500 investment paid off.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. We're going to have to wait. This is just like Joe Millionaire last night.
Killing me. That's right, the suspense continues.
Thanks, Nance.
All right, we'll see in a little bit then.
Very interesting. Well, it is 7:46, time to talk to Sue.
Yeah, but she's keeping us in suspense as well.
We
don't know where.
Okay, I have been eagerly awaiting this story. It's time to find out what happened to a local radio personality who was on a worldwide search looking for Mrs. Right.
All right, let's review. Q102's Diego went to Russia to find a soulmate, but did it lead to true love? We're dying to know. Nancy Amata joining us with the conclusion.
That's right, Carrie Lee and Christian. Diego Ramos claims he's tried meeting women through friends, through his job, even on the internet. But at 32 years old, this popular Q102 radio personality was still looking for love. That's why he recently took a chance on a service to meet women overseas. And for a few weeks, it looked as if that gamble paid off. Take a look.
My phone bill from Russia was $970 for 10 days.
But Diego Ramos wasn't complaining. By the beginning of December, he was smitten with his new love, a stunning 25-year-old Russian blonde named Natasha. The two met over the Thanksgiving holiday during a 10-day, $3,500 romance tour to St. Petersburg, Russia.
She was just super nice to me. I've never had people treat me like that, you know.
Diego wasn't sure she was the one, but he did like her enough to take her to the ballet.
Going to the ballet is like a big deal. Tickets were $150, $150 each to get really good seats.
He even extended his stay by an extra day so he could meet Natasha's parents. It cost him another $600.
I had to do it. You know why? Because I'm in Russia. It's not like I can just drive off like 10 minutes later and be like, hi, I'm here to meet the parents and leave, you know?
After returning home, Diego called and emailed Natasha. Weeks later, he vowed to make her Christmas extra special. He sent her $500 in American Express gift check.
I just thought about, like, you know what? She can use it where she can buy whatever she wants with it, and it'll be easier.
Diego was thrilled when Natasha called to say she received the generous gift and thanked him profusely. But weeks later, he got a disturbing phone call.
Like, she's like, I just want to let you know that I never received the stuff. And I go, what do you mean you didn't receive the stuff? She goes, well, I just didn't want to ruin your holidays. And I was like, here we go.
On the air, when Diego shared that development with loyal listeners, the phones lit up, advising Diego to trace the gift checks. He did. American Express claims they were delivered and signed by Natasha.
To this day, she tells me she never received them. So I'm in a tough situation because people are telling me, like, you know what, she's just trying to get money out of me. But
What does your heart tell you?
I don't think she did. I don't think she did because she's such a nice girl.
Affairs of the heart sometimes cloud some of the judgment services.
U.S. Attorney Pat Meehan says he sees it time and time again. Companies and scam artists here and overseas preying on emotions, promising something they can rarely deliver. He says if you still choose to get involved,
You should step back, take a deep breath, and make sure that if you make this decision, you're doing it with eyes wide open, because in the end, it's really likely to be a road to disappointment, more heartbreak, and ultimately economic fraud.
As for Diego, he's not sure where this road ends. He says he's keeping an open mind. He and Natasha are still keeping in touch.
Some people might be like, listen, Diego, you're a nice guy.
Yeah.
You were taken for a fool.
I know. Everybody says that. Everybody's telling me that, like, you're being stupid. You really are. Like, you know what? It's typical of Diego. It's just typical of me, you know. Another one, I get screwed over again, you know. So, but this time I had to go that far and pay that much money to get screwed over. So that's the way I look at it.
Well, it is still unclear if Natasha is a fraud, but even if she is, the U.S. attorney says chances are Diego would have a hard time trying to file charges against her or the company that introduced them, because a lot of times it's hard to track down scam artists who hide behind the internet. Also, many foreign governments just aren't willing to cooperate. So Diego's search for true love continues. He's now conceding to his loyal listeners who've followed him on this whole journey that maybe, just maybe, he's going to search for Mrs. Right here at home.
It'd be a little cheaper. He seems like such a nice guy with a great sense of humor, you know?
Absolutely. And so a lot of people find it hard to believe that Diego isn't attached, or, you know, and you have to give him credit, though, because he was willing to take a chance.
Yeah.
And whether this,
you know,
it turns out to be what he wanted or not, at least he did it. And he said he has no regrets either way.
Well, all right, well, it was an adventure.
We're going to keep in touch with him, so we will let you know in days to come what eventually happened between him and Natasha.
All right, Nancy,
Seems like
keep
a
us
nice
updated.
guy.